Hello fantasy faithfuls and welcome to Deshaun Watson's 2020 Fantasy Snapshot.
Maddox, Watson, steps, throws, end zone, Smith.
In 2020, the Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson will be facing a group of teams that last year gave up 324 fantasy points to quarterbacks, 14th least in the NFL with 11.6 yards per completion and 24 passing touchdowns on average. Breaking down his passing, Deshaun Watson has the prototypical targeting trends for a quarterback that will score a lot of fantasy points. He throws more to the short left than right, which is above league average, but throws a bit much over the middle in my opinion. But seeing as he's just as accurate over the middle as he is to the right, I can't complain too much, and with 78% to the short left, we can tell why he's so good at racking up points. What held him back last year is the lack of yards from short passes. He's well below league average to the short left, while his deep balls gain well above. This gives him a bit more boom-bust quality than stability. The opponents that fit his trends the best is the Cincinnati Bengals. They gave up 33.1 yards per completion, and opposing quarterbacks had a completion rate of 61% in the deep middle zone, so be sure to start him in DFS for that game. I would like to take a second to remind you to hit that like button, leave a comment what you think about this video, and subscribe to the channel. I love every interaction I have with y'all, and every little bit helps me put out even more content. Deshaun Watson's one-game floor is 12.5 points and ceiling 30.8 based on the last 3 years. This is the second highest floor and third highest ceiling for quarterbacks, and a big reason why he's one of my favorites. And the likeliness of him scoring above the ceiling and booming is good at 2.1, while his bust risk below the floor is low at 1.5%. You should expect between 12.5 and 30.8 pretty much every week. His touchdown rate last year was 5.3%, 11th highest in the league, so a reliable touchdown scorer, but not high enough to be worried about negative regression. Based on my market share study, I have him projected for 512 pass attempts and 76 quarterback runs next year. His interception rate is 2.4%, which was the 22nd highest in the league. That is pretty darn average. His sack rate was however 9%, so even though he's not giving the ball up, he's still taking a ton of hits. Deshaun Watson was very usable in 2019 and showed some stability going every other week as quarterback 1. He was only behind Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, and Patrick Mahomes in usable games. The situation breakdown for Watson shows that there is one situation that impacts his fantasy scoring more than anything, and I alluded to it just seconds ago. He scores a ton more points playing at home in Houston than anything else. This is a trend shared with DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller, and Kenny Stills, so be careful in DFS on the road. Deshaun Watson had 59 red zone pass attempts and 14 rush attempts last year, and with those attempts he scored 24 touchdowns, which is good. The success rate of 31% is just good enough to be better than league average, but not high enough to not be able to reproduce it. And even if he scores one rush touchdown less next year, he'll still be good. The average risk of him not scoring above 15 fantasy points is 12%, which places him in group 2 of risky quarterbacks with Mahomes, Breeze, and Russell Wilson. A pretty darn good group to be in. Based on his current ADP of 70th overall and all the numbers I've laid out in this video, I give him a draft grade of A. So for the conclusion, he's lost DeAndre Hopkins but got Brandon Cooks and David Johnson. I think this will keep Watson at a high level, and he's so much cheaper than a lot of other top quarterbacks that he's a great pickup at 70th overall.
Watson protected, escaping, gonna run for it. You get a block on the edge, he's gonna get there, first down and more, and Deshaun Watson inside the 10, into the end zone.
Hello fantasy faithful, I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to check out more of them right here and here. In case you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a beat.